Hello, and welcome to Virtually Crafted. Today we'll be going over how to make jelly physics in Blender and render out to a video. In this tutorial, I'll be covering scene setup, basic materials in Blender, physics simulations and baking, rendering, and converting rendered images into a video. Let's get started. Step 1. Setting up your scene. Okay, so we've got a new project here, and you'll see we have a default cube, light, and camera. Let's focus on the cube. That will be our jelly. I'm going to set the cube up to a height of 5 by pressing G, Z, and 5. Next, I'll subdivide it a few times. It looks like 4 should be enough. Next, I'm going to bevel the edges. Select the edges in edge mode by holding down Alt, then bevel using Ctrl and B. Use the middle mouse wheel to add another cut down the center. It's looking good. Let's go ahead and shade it smooth. Perfect. Let's add another object to our scene. I'm going to add another cube, and I'll subdivide this one as well with a factor of 3, but I'm going to make this subdivide smooth. It's not quite round, so I'm going to use an add-on to fix that. Go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and search for Loop Tools. Check the box, and focus on your new cube. Make the edges circular by selecting them with Alt, then right-clicking and selecting Circle. Do this for the other edges as well if you'd like. Now that we've gone and made this look more like a bowl, I'm going to shape it into a plate or bowl to hold my jelly in. You can do this however you like. Great! I've got my plate now to hold my jelly. I'll add a plane and some modifiers to give off the appearance of sitting on a table. Follow along with me. Look at that! Now I've got a table, a plate, and a jelly cube. Pause the video here for a quick recap of what we've covered so far if you need help. We have our objects, but now let's give them physics. First, add a soft body to the jelly. You can do this by either adding the modifier or by using the Physics tab. Let's take a look at the properties. First, I'm going to make sure the simulation stops short. I've picked frame 100. That's roughly 4 seconds in Blender. In Blender, 24 frames is 1 second. We've also got edges. This is a very important section for our jelly. More on that in a minute. Take a look at some of the other properties. Try hitting play. Oh, our cube floats. To fix this, you're going to want to uncheck Goal. This will keep the soft body in place, and we don't want that. Try hitting play again. What went wrong? Our jelly went through everything, and that's because we don't have a collider for it to interact with. Add collision in the Physics tab on your plate. Don't change any of the properties. Hit play again. That's more like it. However, the jelly isn't quite right. We need to tweak some of the properties in edges to get this right. Let's turn up the bending to about 0.4. Turn on stiffness and set it to about 0.1. Finally, go up to cache and make sure to bake the simulation so you don't waste time each animation frame. You can set the cache location in your preferences. Give it some time to bake. Check it out. Smooth as butter. Here's a quick recap for physics. If you need guidance, pause the video here. Our scene is starting to look great. We've got our objects, a light, and a camera. Let's adjust the camera for the render. Hit numpad 0 to lock onto the camera, then open the toolbar within and lock the camera to the viewport. Adjust the position, then unlock the camera. Our objects need some life. Let's add color by selecting the Shading tab at the top. Click Viewport Render at the top right. This is starting to look good, but let's give it a background first. Select World and then add an environment texture. You can use one from Polyhaven. It's a free website with a lot of great HDRIs for use. I've chosen one and will add it now. Add it in with a node for environment texture and plug it in. Everything is pink. You have to select the HDRI. Open it and watch the magic happen. Beautiful. Time to give the object some color. Select the table and switch over to object on the left. Let's assign it new material. I'm going to make mine look like glass because I think that might be cool. I'll keep it white, turn up transmission, and reduce roughness. Play around until you get something you like. Next, do the same for the plate. I'm going to go with a more metallic look for my plate, but feel free to make it your own. Finally, it's time to make the jelly look like jelly. Pick a color, and then turn up transmission to a high value, and reduce roughness nearly fully. This won't look like jelly just yet, but we'll fix it later. Before we do that, I'm going to quickly adjust my camera. That's great, and I think I'm happy with it. Here's a quick recap of materials. Pause the video if you need to. Next up is rendering, which can be as simple or as complicated as you make it. Back in our scene, I'm going to make some minor adjustments like lining up lights to make the scene feel slightly more real. Now that I'm happy, I'm going to check out the render properties. You'll notice the render engine is set to EV. Change that to cycles, which will take a bit of time and will make some noticeable difference in your scene. Pay close attention to the changes I make. I'll explain them in the recap. The big ones to note are changing thresholds, samples, reducing light paths, and checking fast GI approximation in light paths. This all reduces my rendering time. Check your outputs. Make sure you have PNG selected so that there isn't much quality loss in the renders. You can also set your output folder here for rendered images. Now that we have our final adjustments done and our animations appear to be working correctly, we can render the animation. Rendering might take a good bit of time. Make sure that in your render properties, you have your GPU selected. You can render a single image by hitting F12 or render an animation by hitting Ctrl and F12. Rendering an animation outputs a still image for each frame. Once your images are rendered, find them in your output folder. It's time to turn our still images into a video. Pause the video if you need to. For my video editing software, I'm using Adobe Premiere Elements. Adding my images as a video here couldn't be easier. Simply add Media, Files and Folders, and select the first image of the series within the folders. Then, check the box that says Numbered Stills. That's it. You are done. Go ahead and export, save, and enjoy your hard work. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on making jelly in Blender, and I hope you can apply some of the things you've learned going forward. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments. If this video helped you or you enjoyed the video, please give me a like and a subscribe. If you would like to see more tutorials, Let me know in the comments. This has been virtually crafted. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.